What's up, guys? It's Kojam here, and bringing you a different kind of video today. It's going to be a little bit more educational. And if you would like to see anything, please leave a suggestion down below, whether it's a VOD review for yourself, VOD review for like a 5-stack, character guide like this one, or whatever it may be. Just leave a comment below. I'll most likely get around to it. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into this one. The reason I'm here on Pearl is because currently I believe this is her strongest map, and for simplicity's sake, I'm going to go over just this one map. And most of these concepts can be applied to any map. This character is very strong at what she does, but she kind of gets overshadowed a little bit by the other initiators. But this is a map where you can confidently pick her, and she has a very good argument for being best in slot on Pearl. So I guess we will start with her utility. Go from left to right. We got the Prowler. Now, this is most similar to like a dog or a drone of all the abilities in the game. And drones are probably one of the strongest ability in the game. So, inherently, this is very strong because she has two of them. There's strengths and weaknesses to these Prowlers compared to the Sova Drone and the Sky Dog. Like, obviously, the Sky Dog or the Sova Drone you can see. But there's also inherent strengths with this one because you can peek with this yourself as well. So, you know, and you have two of them. Nobody else has two of them. So that is pretty cool for Fade. Yeah, you basically really just want to be using these dogs to get your team into forward positions, fight for the neutral space on the map. For example, like the barriers drop, and you might want to throw your eye for A main. And now say they break this eye or it scans. If they break the eye or it scans, I think you throw a dog here. Well, not like that. You throw like a good dog. And yeah, it should attach to their trail. It's very simple, honestly. If there's a trail, you just look at it and throw it and just swing with it. It makes it so much easier if they get scanned. But yeah, the dogs are really good for like getting your team into positions that you have to usually fight for, like A main, for example. Now the tether is something that you want to use to like confirm kills, basically is how I say it. Or you could use it, there's a couple ways you could use it. You could use it to clear space as well. Like say you don't have any dogs or an eye, but you don't want to like just hard face check that. So you can also throw your tether for a little bit of info, because that would attach to them and you could see if anybody was hiding back there. That's a useful tip for the tether. But in general, with the tether, you really use it kind of reactively. Like if this dog were to scan somebody, you know, you can reactively tether them, or the dog will chase them back sight. You can tether back sight, and yeah, they'll be stuck back sight, and your Raze or your Teho, whatever you might have, will be able to get a confirmed kill there. So the tether, you really want to use this reactively when you either know where they are or your team needs something cleared. Like you can throw it into smokes as well. It'll bring them down to 1 health and you can spam them. Very strong. Tether is also really good anti-flood util. Now, you might not know what a flood is, and that would be where, say you're coming onto the site and you're planting. The flood is when the enemy team starts to retake the site. Now, if they are using util from art, and you think they're going to retake heavy from art, it can be really good to throw your C's into the art smoke, stop them from coming out. You just want to use this reactively, like a lot of the time, right? Like if they're using util, you can stop all of their progress. They just threw their Fade Eye, they just threw their Omen Blind, they just threw a Flash, whatever. 3 pieces of util can be stopped with this 1 piece of util, not let them come out. You know what I'm saying? They won't be able to take any space off of that util they just used, and you have so much of a better chance of winning the post plant. Now this eye, the eye is like a Sova Dart. It's a recon ability, very strong. I'm going to start out by going around the map and showing you various lineups I use and what they're good for. So since we're here, we'll start with A. This is an attack eye. you stand in the corner of this
There.
box here. Look at the corner of the building with your crosshair, and just a
Where are
normal
you?
throw, and it will land in that window
There.
here, which will scan
There.
all of A main walk up. The only place they can really hide is here, which,
Watching here.
as long as you know that they can be there, that is a very easy kill. And like I said, if they break that eye or it gets scans, should use a dog here. Yeah, let's go for a sight eye. So if you have like another character that can take the A main control, you don't want to use your eye for it, but your eye is rechargeable, so it's pretty good. I stand in the corner here. This can also be really good in post plant too. Like if they're flooding onto the site, you can, or they're tapping the bomb, you can use this eye. So just stand in the corner of this little power cover thing, and corner of that, they are rocked.
I'll find you.
Jump throw, lands on the umbrella.
There.
This is pretty much, as far as I'm aware,
There.
probably the best eye you can get for in terms of what you can clear on the site. I'm pretty sure the only place they can really tuck is like super hard, like against this. Like, if they tuck back here though, I mean, this area is pretty rough to play if you have any other Ruto to clear it. But it will scan people like hiding in pit. It'll scan people
There.
close, so it gets on most of the site. It's a pretty solid eye. For defense, you can either just throw your eye through A main like that. It's not as good, or people just land it up in here
I'll find you.
like that. That's a very solid one as well that most people already know about. And that would be for defense, for A main info, because A main control is very strong on this map.
There.
Something you should be aware of. This orb,
There.
very important. Very important. I'm gonna be fighting for that orb, and your character has the ability to do that for your team. Now let's go to another attack eye. This would be for like more of a B split.
There.
Another box lineup, lining corner. These little diamonds here. You look, put your crosshair up into the top of this diamond,
I'll find
and
you.
then it's just a normal toss, and that'll
There.
scan
There.
all the front connector, and you can get some good control here. And this would be really good with eco too, because say you're on eco and you get your smokes player to smoke like
There.
right here, and you throw this eye, it'll clear everything outside of the smoke, and you can
Bring them
throw your
down.
dog in, send your duelist in, and these are really, really advantageous fights for like stingers, whatever bad weapon you might have. So keep that in the back pocket. But we'll get into why these mid eyes and split push eyes are good in a minute. In terms of B, if you're just going straight B, honestly,
Where are you?
you kind of just wing this one a little bit. Throwing your eye up here would be
There.
pretty good. You can also, you just really adjust it to what your team needs to clear on B. I'm not gonna lie, like they're playing back here a lot. You like
Where
kind of
are
want to use your eye to clear that a little bit. You know, they're playing back hall. You can also use your eye to clear back hall. But I'd say the most like prominent one that you can just default throw is like something like this. Oh well, didn't quite land where I wanted to, but that still would work because you know Fade Eye is very forgiving. And I see people throw the eye like this on defense too, like on just for the info B. See if they're cross. Like a lot of teams will do like a pickup star here. A decent reaction you can do to that is like if they pick up star, you can throw your eye. See if they cross or not. Another lineup for you. Oops. Corner. Corner. Jump toss.
There.
Chop. Mid. That's for defense. Sorry. Back to the point. Are going to go into attack now. And I say scratch all this because you don't know, but I just went on a whole rant that I'm gonna edit out. Very fun. But let's start with attack. Now, attack on Pearl, and honestly, most maps, like almost every map, honestly, and including Ascent, which is coming back and is another decent Fade map. On most maps, you're gonna want to be split pushing. So Fade is extremely strong for split pushing because of these eyes that I was showing you earlier. This eye, you know, not only does it scan A main, but it also scans into art.
There.
So you can have your team push into art and A main at the same time. And that is a very good way to split push A. Let's go into like maybe a little example of a solid split push here. Oh wait, I don't need to click that. I already have it up. Okay. So I kind of cut it a little weird, but let's go into it a little bit. So the defense started out actually by getting the first pick on the enemy duelist. Now, a lot of times in your ranked games, this might be the end of the round. Your entry is done. This smoke is up. Nobody is on the site. And I don't mean this nobody, because he not on the site. Alright? And this would be a done round. This guy's not going to go through the smoke. These guys are going to be scared now. They're like, wait, we lost our duelist. What do we do? Well, I'll just show you how the strengths of split pushing really come into play here. Even though this guy's alone, they're able to create so much pressure in mid that the defenders are forced to deal with this area, and this guy has a chance to come out of the smoke. He's not just stopped by like one piece of util because he's trying to come out one small little choke point through a smoke. Okay, so you see he prowlers in. Nobody's being patient. He's droning out. He's making pressure here. Like could be more people with him. Like they're about to come through the smoke, and these people are now taking in the B link. They put a thorns here so they can't flood on them, and they are booking it to help their boy. Because there's also a concept called the hammer and anvil. This guy goes slow because these have more players, right? This guy needs to play a little bit more passive because this has more oomph to the push. And as you can see, nobody's doing a fantastic job. Okay, he droned out, and everybody is looking on this smoke. Izu, Buzz, and Meteor all looking at the smoke here, and you'll see now they are not prepared for this split push with the eye. This guy gets caught out, and now the Sova is looking towards Link, and there's only one player actually looking at nobody, and that player has to be very worried about his back right now. And he's not able to do anything about it because Stax isn't able to kill all the players flooding out at once. And there you go. That's a done round, 2v1. And we don't really need to watch out the rest of the round, but they do win. So that is why split pushing is so strong, because it gives you way more options. Okay? Way more options. If you're going B, you want to split. If you're going A, you want to split. There are times to rush, but generally speaking, splitting is better. Okay. And now at lower levels, people might not really get the concept as much, or there might just not be an ability to coordinate that kind of thing. So there you can rush. But if you're going to rush like that, like 5-man through a choke, make sure you have some good ults, because you need something to get you through there. So if you're going to rush, I really suggest you have powerful ults, like which Fatal is actually one of those said ults, which we actually didn't go over in the abilities. But this ult obviously is good for rushing sites, because, I mean, look at that. It clears everything. This is a clear site. And anybody that's in here gets insta-decayed. There's a trail on them instantly, which we talked about. The Prowlers will just chase them off of the site unless they want to stay for whatever reason while they're deafened and decayed and being chased by dogs, and other util is flooding the site as the team's running out. Most of the time, they're not going to be trying to fight that. And if they are, it's pretty advantageous for you. So that is an example of a power ult that can allow you to rush sites much easier. Let's see. And, oh yes, making sure that you are having good timing on your util as well is very, very important. Okay. Say we're using this site exec eye. There is no reason to throw this eye if nobody's going out with it, okay? So when you're throwing this eye, you want to make sure your jet is dashing out as it's landing, pretty much. So you're going to like 3, 2, 1 it. You want to go like, all right, Jet, get ready, pop your dash, 3, 2, 1, and then the jet dashes out, the eye lands, and you can help the jet. There'll be scan back sight. She's sitting in her smoke here, kind of safe. And you might have like a flash or something, and say that, like, I just want you to picture it, right? There's a Fade Eye landing up here. and a sky flash or something, some sort of flash coming out of the smoke. You can't look at the Fade Eye to break it because there's a flash there, and you'll be blinded. I'm looking at my microphone to talk to you guys. There's a flash there, so you'll just get blinded. So yeah, chiming your util with other utility is something that makes your util and your impact on this character go from, you know, I have good
Where are
utility
you?
to, okay, this Fade has great utility. This Fade utility is getting all these scans, and the sight and the fights feel so easy for me, and your duelist will feel spoiled. Okay? Now, another thing that's really important to know, right, is trading. Trading is largely an initiator job. Well, it's everybody's job, but initiators tend to be put in a trading scenario a lot because you are using your Prowler,
Bring them
and then your
down.
duelist
There.
swings with the Prowler, and you're like behind him because you obviously shouldn't swing first because your gun takes a second to come
Bring
out.
them down.
See? So you're going to be trading a lot, and making sure you have good spacing and are holding yourself accountable to try and get these trades is important. I want you to really think about how much value you're getting off of your dogs, because if you use your util to take the site, your jet is the
There.
only one out and they just die and you have no util left, then the round is kind of hard to win back from there. So you really want to make sure you're getting value out of your util, and if your jet can't kill anybody, you at least know where they are because he just died to them, and you should be looking to kill that person with confidence. You need to be very confident in your refrags on this roll. Very, very, very important. Now, if we want to get into even more detail, and this would probably be tough in ranked, not really though, no excuses, because this role is very, you're not going to get that much impact on this role unless you're kind of trying to call strats for your team. So if you're not comfortable doing that, then I would recommend being in a 5-stack or something, or at least just trying. Okay, because for example, say you're doing this, you're taking A control with this eye and your dog. That's great. But now what do you do if the team starts to over-rotate? You know, they're setting up just one player B, a trip mid, and then this guy's just chilling here with an op, not worried about what's going on at A, and you have the whole entire enemy team just pick random characters towards this side of the map. It's like, what do you do here in this situation, right? When this starts happening, where they're starting to stack the sites you're going to and starting to do that, or maybe over-rotate because your team's going out a little slow. That's very common, especially in ranked anyway. Well, you can use this utility to fake them, right? Like, say you just have you and Jet here, and you're hiding your intentions a little bit. You do, I don't like how distracting that trip is, so we'll just put a Cypher trip there. Doesn't have to, you get the picture. I don't have to worry about it. It's just, we're hiding our intentions here, right? So we can even do like a little smoke here or something like that, add to it. And these players can then walk into B-Link, catch these people rotating over, or catch the chamber picking up his mid, or, you know, just, they might even just be able to walk all the way up and kill this chamber. They can do a B as well. But the idea is people will get used to seeing your util and expecting the hit to be there. So if you just keep this same util that you're doing, it is the easiest fake of your entire life. You know what I mean? Like, it is just so easy. And the same can be true for B, right? Like, you can do like a pickup star here. Like I said, people love this pickup star to get across. You dog through the pickup star, they have no way of knowing if there's anybody here unless they do like what I was saying earlier with the counter util, another Fade Eye. Alright, so using your util for fakes is very potent, and that's something you should be looking out for. So let's go into an example of a default now, because just in case you are interested, because defaulting is obviously very strong with characters like Fade. It's just not as much in ranked because people tend to rush a lot in ranked. But you know, if you're in a 5-stack or something, defaulting is absolutely strong, and you should be looking to do that with your character. So like I said before, Fade Eye 40-second cooldown. So if you're using it for A main control, then you know, you'll have to wait 40 seconds to use it on your site exec. So you won't really want to end A main here. What you're doing here by taking A main is you are creating a question mark. The other team now has to use util to reclaim this part of the map, because this question mark is so close to the site that if they don't clear it out, you're instantly ready to go into a site hit, right? So that is the point of a default. And also the orb here is like a little mini objective that you want to really pay attention to, the orbs, so you can do those rushes we were talking about earlier. You can do question marks anywhere you want on the map. Like even if you added like a little if you added like a smoke here and you threw this Fade Eye, this all of a sudden becomes a question mark as well. Or this Fade Eye with this smoke, another question mark. Oop, my computer just lagged, so that question mark is kind of sketchy, but you see what I'm saying. It goes along with the idea of fakes, but basically you're accepting that you're probably not going to be hitting within the first 40 seconds of the round. You're just going to be poking around the map, trying to find how they are set up, which is another job that often lies on the initiators. It's trying to figure out how the other team is setting up by defaulting, using your util to create question marks on the map and seeing how they reclear it, because like obviously if you create a question mark A main and then they Fade Eye A main, oh, Fade is A. You know, you'll find out where people are just by creating this pressure on the map. So just keep that in mind, and farming as many orbs as possible is already a win. So you'll be able to make more educated guesses and more educated site execs. And yeah, so that is pretty much it for attack. Now let's go into defense a little bit. General tips for defense. If the other team, like say for example, okay, the other team is a rushing kind of team. If that's the case, then there's really no reason for you to be throwing this Fade Eye A main if they're just going to be sprinting up as 5 people, grabbing this orb, and running out on the site, right? It makes no sense for you to burn your Fade Eye to clear a space that they're already like showing you like, oh, there's like 5 people there. Rather than using your eye for something like that, you could use your eye when they're coming out to exec, right? For example, like they're coming out, you can do the same eye we did on attack. And this is all spammable. Can be very good while they're planting too. Hit a little suck on the planter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So don't waste your util if they're giving you information for free. Use your util when they're creating those question marks we were talking about for attack. Okay? Another thing is, if they are defaulting on you, you should look to be the person to try and figure out what they're doing on their defaults. Okay? If they're taking heavy A main, you need to note which characters are going towards A main, which characters are mid, and which characters are B. Okay? And then you can create a little plan to shake up that default. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if you know that the Cypher is always in mid shops, you can tell your Jet, like, hey, this Cypher, he's always in shops. I'm going to throw my eye. You could ask like another initiator, whatever util you might have. Let's smoke top mid. I'm going to eye. Jet, you dash on this Cypher and let's get a 5v4 going. That's a good way to disrupt their default. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be thinking like that as an initiator. You want to be looking for gaps in their play and trying to exploit that and getting your duelists active. And same thing with trading applies here. Now we'll talk about strong side and weak side. What that basically means is, like, say we have 3 players in the A side of the map. This becomes weak side, B and mid link. If you are playing on weak side as Fade, playing for like that spam that I was talking about is very solid. Yeah, pretty much you're gonna be playing for spam, play for early info. You're not gonna be looking to take too many just one-on-one aim duels, unless well, one-on-one aim duels are fine, but if it's anything worse than that, you probably are gonna want a teammate there. So just keep that in mind. And if you're on the strong side, then you want to be getting your duelists active and taking aggressive space in the neutral zones. You don't really want to be sitting back and playing your eye for spam. You want to be forcing them to use util in these areas so that they don't have a million pieces of util to take the site with. And the second thing I want to go over is re-clearing on defense, okay? Because like I said, with these question marks, you want to know how to deal with them if somebody's doing that to you, obviously. So, like I said, we know, let me turn Infinite abilities off so we can see. So every Valorant round,
30 seconds left. Savor the good dreams while you can.
every Valorant round has 40 seconds. So, if I am to, oops. Oh yeah, that music plays no matter what. Never mind, the round started. If I'm going to throw this,
Where are you?
it'll be on a 40-second cooldown, as you can see. And there's 40 seconds in the clock. So if you know that the other team uses their rechargeable information util, like a Fade Eye or a Sova Dart, you know that they don't have that for their site exec until at least 1 minute on the clock, which is where the reclears come in. You know that they're going to be looking to use that Sova Dart again at 1 minute, so you should be looking to reclear around like 1 minute 10 seconds, 1 minute 5 seconds, where they're going to be grouping up for a site hit. So if they've cut noise and they've created a question mark on the map and you don't really know where they're at and their rechargeables are coming up, you're going to want to re-clear it. So say they take into A main, right? They're like showing heavy pressure in A main. A good thing for you to do would be like, hey, duelist, let's go and let's react and take mid.
Bring them
Right?
down.
Let's take mid together. Have your site anchor play site. You have mid, and yeah, now we know that they're not looking to split A, and that the A main players are either faking or they are trapped there if we keep pushing. So depending on how much contact there is, you can make a decision to keep flanking, or if so much is unknown, then you can just get yourself pushed up into like one of these positions here. And the beauty of these positions is if they're running through spawn rotating, you can hear it. And then you can like let them all pass, keep a flank, have your team start sprinting to B. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're taking early map control, just use your dogs and get your jet or your anybody posted up into these power positions and don't let them take the map for free. They either commit A and you guys can pinch them in from the flank, or they rotate out and you can hear them with early information and have earlier rotates. So on defense, you want to be in charge of making sure you're proactive and your team is being supported on their proactivity. Very interesting side note, you can throw your util over here for long. Phoenixes love to ult from there too, so like just keeping that in mind.
No charges.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I'd say Fade is just a great character to play if you have like a duo or in a stack, but she can be pretty tricky in solo queue unless you're very vocal. So yeah, if you're not finding a lot of value on Fade and ranks, try to incorporate some of these more complex ideas, and just, you know, people might not always listen to you, but you just, at the same time, it is a learning curve to get good at making these things clear and making these game plans quick and efficient, and having people listen to you is also a skill. So yeah, I was not a natural leader, but now usually people really respect my IGLing,
I'll
and
find you.
that is something that I just worked on. So don't make excuses for yourself. Make sure that you learn lineups on the maps you want to play Fade. Make sure that you have general game plans for attack and defense on Fade, because you can bring them into every single ranked game. You can have like general split pushes you always do, general defense flow charts you always do. Just look at their comp, look at what they're doing, and react with your utility. Fade is such a strong agent for taking back space, so make sure you are using her to her strengths. Okay, and that's pretty much it for this little guide here. Thank you very much for watching, and like I said, leave any suggestions down below. I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff, and give comments for that if I type out any extra notes after this, because that's very possible. Thank you for watching. See you next time.